All right. Getting the heel close to the chair leg, close to the wall. Bringing my shin knee above the ankle joint. And to bring this hip in and down. Having my right shoulder on the wall. Maybe some of the upper left back. Tucking the tailbone. Working the ribs toward the back leg. Just straightening my back leg. Lifting my insteps. Using a little help from the vertical arm to move the ribs away from the bent leg. Bringing the armpits above the hips. So I can tuck a little more. Bring that hip in. And final version of this pose I'm not naming right now. Warrior. Oh, there it was. You get to guess which number. All right. Now, the next shape, the next pose. I'm using this nice kitchen step stool to help me. How deep to go? It could be up here, but low knee over the ankle. Neck in line with the spine, wherever the spine is. Reaching way out along the wall and using this back of the stool or a chair back for support. Elongate the ribs on the underneath side, which are the right ribs, right now. Come down and lean on a support with your forearm or your hand. And the arms in line with the shin. That helps tell you that your knee is over your ankle. You can feel your shin and your arm touching each other. Arm two. Need to go a little lower. I'm bringing my bottom ribs closer and closer to the thigh. So now I need to get more space under my arm because I can bring my ribs closer. And I'm looking for that vertical line in the upper arm. Look down and stretch your neck. Using gravity. Oh my goodness, you can also support your head. So nice to stay a little longer. And refine the pose. Starts to bother. Come up higher. This one high. Ah. Either way was a bit extreme. If I had more time here with the camera, I would stay longer and go lower after a bit. Moving on to straight leg pose. Now, the shoulder is not above the knee. Well, it is almost. But the knee's in a new place, right? Legs straight. We're trying to bring the spine toward the horizontal plane, but it's all right if it's slanting. Higher as long as you keep it fairly straight. What we want to create is a bulge here. Elongate the underneath ribs. Use any amount of height you want for this pose. Back of the head to the wall, maybe at least the bottom shoulder on the wall. Maybe you can turn the ribs strongly and bring the top shoulder to the wall and try and look up. And if you close your high eye, which is my left one, try and see your hand with your right eye. I'm not turning my chest deeply enough to be able to do that. But it's good to make the effort. And again, this is a really nice feeling to look down and let gravity help you twist in the neck and see your alignment. So from that straight leg position and pose, you can keep working with straight legs, but face the floor, the ground, with your hips and chest. Everything is lined up on the diagonal. Be up here. What's important here is that we're not on the wall anymore, and we don't want to let the tailbone turn toward the wall. So I've created a fin at my tailbone, my fingers, to point straight back away from the front foot and down the mat. Another way to use the wall, for people who are tight in the hamstrings, come up and lean your head on your arm, which is leaning on the wall, aiming the tailbone. It's better to come up higher than bend your knee a little. If you are looser, I'm walking my hand down the wall. You can use any kinds of props. If you don't have props, make some, find some. Leaning your one hand on its shin, other hand on the block, coming lower, aiming that fin, maybe coming through, a little too low. I wanted to show you a diagonal line of the back. You have that much flexibility before letting your back curve more all the way out as far as you can go, only if it feels really good. If it feels terrible, it's not your pose, it's not the right degree, not the right amount. Okay, and we have hopefully 2 blocks or maybe 2 fat books, or maybe a step stool over here, or a coffee table. Little visit to standing spread leg forward fold. You could stay a while if you want. I'm moving on. With less propping on this side. So what is this pose we did on the first side? Right before standing spread leg forward fold. With a fin. How tall to be? What's the right amount? Aim that tailbone. Maybe get some support for the head. Could be resting on a table. The table's about here. Aiming that fin, that tailbone back so it doesn't turn and point toward the wall. Elongating the spine, the ribs, the neck. Finding the right height. Shoulders are in line with their own hips. We're not above the front leg. The breastbone is lined up between the heels. Then we might take a deeper, longer reach, only if the body wants that stretch, not because the brain thinks it's good for you. Don't let your mind dictate. Let your body speak clearly to you and obey. When it says be careful or stop, please do those things. So what was the other straight leg pose? Came before pyramid, coming out of the first sequence in reverse order. Same sequence. Taking a little more height here. Bring that leg all the way to the wall. Because we're no more facing the floor, it's a lateral pose. High version of triangle. Going to get a little more weight back on the back heel by lifting the front toes. And it took the cramp out of my calf I was getting, which might mean I was hyperextending in this knee joint a little, so catch there. Now, when you have your calf supported, that means you can lean on your shin without worrying about hyperextending. Rolling the chest open. And fine-tuning, positioning, and breathing. And maybe finding a little more loosening. And maybe there's a chair seat here for the head to rest on, a blanket on the seat. What came before this was a bent knee position. That could be, do you remember the name? Have you thought of it yet? Get that back foot a little closer so I can get the front knee over its heel. And I'm backing up because there's a slope here under my foot and I don't want it to tilt down. There we go. Extended side angle pose, arm 1. Arm 2. Let's get a little closer to earth. Arm in line with the shin, bend that knee a little more deep. Thank you. And arm 3. And then there's a pose. Came before that. Started this video. And this tightness across the groin is really stopping me from going any deeper. Bring this hip in. Try and bring the armpits back above the pelvis. Deep twist, turning the ribs far toward the back leg. Pelvis is not as turned in either direction. Pelvis is on a diagonal. You have one leg parallel to the wall. The back leg is pretty much in line with where the pelvis is turning or heading, and then the ribs are turning to the right. Get that knee over the ankle, please. Thank you, Dee. And maybe turn your head.